In this episode of the Boorman Lawyers Court Reports, we take a look at an unlicensed driving offence at Southport Magistrates Court in Queensland.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that 24/7 an understatement to my day-to-day. If ain't no way, then I'ma make a way. They say it ain't no way. I ain't never listened, kept them at the distance. This is for the ones who ain't afraid. And this is more than some paper chase. I wonder who else can say the same.
G'day, it's Josh from Boorman Lawyers. I've just finished up at Southport Magistrates Court. Here today for a client who had an unlicensed driving offence and also what they call a safe but defective vehicle offence. And in layman's terms, it basically meant she had one or two bald tyres on her vehicle and it was given a defective notice. So this matter was in court only about 3 weeks ago, and I got instructions at the last minute to appear on this matter. Went to court, got a 3-week adjournment so we could properly prepare the case. And during the last 3 weeks, I've been able to get instructions from my client. We've been able to put together some fairly strong evidence to mitigate my client's position and to support her case. So just to explain, the unlicensed drive was obviously the more serious offence, and it came about due to the fact that she had a previous fine which had been unpaid. Now, if a fine goes unpaid, it will usually be referred to the SPERS agency in Queensland, which is basically the government state debt recovery agency. And if it's further unpaid, SPER has the power to actually suspend people's driver's license in Queensland. So in relation to my client, she's obviously had an unpaid fine. It's gone through to SPERS agency and she's been issued with a notice that her license was suspended. However, it's all gone under the radar, and basically explanation needed to be given to the court to explain why she was driving on a suspended license. So as we explained, her husband is a businessman. He has an office out of home. He does a lot of traveling overseas. Explained to the court that he's the one who usually takes care of all the mail and the sorting that comes through to the household. And unfortunately, when these notices came through, he was away at the time. When he got back, he failed to act on this particular mail and notices that were issued to his wife. And he failed to even open them and bring them to his wife's attention. So it really was an unintended oversight by my client. We had my client's husband write a letter to the court supporting her case and actually putting his hand up and saying he was partly responsible for the oversight. Nevertheless, my client does realise that it is her responsibility to handle her own mail and her own affairs, and this has been a massive wake-up call and lesson for her. Now, in relation to the penalties of an unlicensed drive offence where it's been SPERS suspended, there is a disqualification that the court must hand down. Now, that period of disqualification can be anywhere between 1 month as the minimum or anywhere up to 6 months as the maximum period of disqualification. So we were certainly pushing for the complete reduction of a disqualification period and leniency for this particular case. Some subjective issues needed to be explained to the court surrounding my client and her personal situation in relation to her family. We were able to explain to the court through my oral submissions and also through my client's husband's letter that he is a businessman. He spends up to 25-30% of his time overseas in New Zealand and Asia and other countries for work. We explained to the court that my client has 2 boys who are twins. One, unfortunately and very sadly, has had ongoing health problems for many years now. And certainly when her husband is away overseas, she needs to provide a higher level of care for her young boy who suffers from a number of medical issues and learning difficulties. So being without a license would certainly put her at a greater disadvantage to the average person on the road. She had a relatively unremarkable traffic record, and this was looked at. She had no prior major traffic offences. She had some minor infringements there, but nothing too serious and nothing that would really work against her. So we explained all of these issues and the unfortunate and unintended oversight that had occurred, which brought this offence about. And the magistrate agreed it was very unfortunate, and she had a strong need for a licence, but unfortunately she still did have to, by law, disqualify my client for a period of time. Of course, she reduced it down to the absolute minimum period of 1 month off the road, starting from today, and she issued a very low fine for both offences of $250. So ultimately, it was the best outcome, one of the best outcomes we could have got for a plea of guilty of unlicensed driving and a defective vehicle notice. Client was very happy. luckily for her, it's the Christmas period, her husband's home, so she won't be all alone, and she should be able to get through the next 4 weeks without a license, without too many hiccups. So guys, just another case. We've appeared on Southport Magistrates Court today. So there's a large number of magistrates that appear at the Southport Magistrates Court and sit on the bench, so you just don't know which magistrate you're going to get until the day of your hearing. But fortunately for us, we regularly appear at Southport Magistrates Court. We have a good rapport with the magistrates and the prosecutors there, so it does make the process a lot smoother. So guys, if you've been charged with any traffic or criminal offence, such as unlicensed driving, drink driving, drug driving, disqualified driving, or any other sort of criminal offence, please feel free to give me a call on 1300 941 900, or alternatively go along to our website, which is Boorman Lawyers, BOORMAN lawyers.com.au. There's a raft of information there on all sorts of offences, penalties, legal strategies, blog posts, statistics, videos. We've really created a bit of an information hub on our website for you to go along and to make yourself familiar with the situation you might find yourself in. And like I said, give me a call, 1300 941 900, if you want to have a further chat to me about your case and how we can best represent you. Thanks for tuning in today, guys.